Hi everyone, it's Shari Carroll here for SimonsSaysStamp.com with a really fun, clean and simple card using some Jillibean Soup products. I'm starting off with the Jillibean Stamp and Stencil, and this is the Butterfly Dictionary, and it has a clear stamp and a stencil that goes together. So I'll start off with my clear stamp, and I'm using the Simon Says Stamp Slate ink, and I'll go ahead and start inking up my image. I'm not going to ink up the entire piece. I really want to concentrate on just mainly this one edge, and I'm going to be wiping away some of the ink to get kind of a distressed look. So I'll grab a baby wipe and I'll just start wiping away some of the edges, and I'm going to be creating kind of an oval shape for my card, but it'll have that hard edge of the words on the one side. So just by taking the baby wipe, I can wipe off some of that ink and it softens up my edges, which will give me the effect I'm looking for. Now that I have my stamp prepared, I've turned my fog note card that I've created on its side so I can kind of line up that one edge, the hard edge of the writing. I'm going to go ahead and press that stamp down, and I've inked this up on just the carrier sheet that it came with. I didn't worry about putting it on a block since it's all one piece on a stamp, and I can lift that up, and now I have the base for my card. Next, I'm working with the stencil, and it's a vinyl stencil, and it has a sticky back, so it's really kind of fun. You just go ahead and place it wherever you want and press that down. What's super nice about having the adhesive background is that it will stay in place for when you use your pastes and inks. I'm going to be coloring some of my embossing paste. I'm using the Wendy Vecchi White, and I also have the Simon Says Stamp Olive ink and my craft sheet. I'm just going to put a little bit of ink down onto the craft sheet and grab a little tipful of the embossing paste. I'm going to go ahead and mix that together, and this will give me a really nice light olive color. If you want lighter color, you can add more paste. If you want darker color, you can add less paste. But this is plenty to work with. I'll go ahead and make sure that I have everything really mixed in together, and I'll be scooping it together and spreading it out just to make sure that I have everything really well mixed. I'm going to make sure that my stencil is sticking to my paper, and now I can go ahead and use my palette knife, and I'm going to turn this a little bit so I get a really good angle. I'm not going to do all of the butterflies, I'm just going to do some of them. So I do reposition my paper with the stencil on it just to make sure that I have a good angle when I'm spreading this out. So I'm just smearing it over and letting the knife just fill in those areas. When I'm done adding my paste, I'll go ahead and clean up my craft sheet, and now I can get ready to remove my stencil. As much as it is adhesive, it's really easy to take away from your paper. It doesn't pull the paper at all, so I'll go ahead and make sure I get a good grip, and I can go ahead and pull this back, and you can see that the butterflies have really fine tendrils or antennae, and this stencil is really nice and finely detailed, and it gets every little bit, and it's just perfect. I've allowed my butterflies to dry, and next I'm going to be adding these little frames that are also from Jillibean Soup, and they have little cutout words, and there's also some ones that are just blank. But I'm using the one that says today, and I've added a piece of acetate to the back and just used some adhesive, and also added some foam squares that I cut up, so this will sit up on my card and add a little dimension. I've wrapped my frame a couple times with some twine, and I tied that in a bow. And once I have that kind of positioned, I can go ahead and remove the backing from those foam squares, and that will hold everything in place. Next, I'll be finishing adding my letters, and by having that piece of acetate in back, it gives me a place to put my letters so that they can sit all together. I'm just aligning them up to that edge, and I can use my thumbnail or my fingernail and kind of move those around. So I'll go ahead and continue adding the letters for my message. As a finishing touch, I've added a couple of the Jillibean Soup buttons. One is a flower and one is a silver piece. I hope you've enjoyed my clean and simple card using Jillibean Soup products, and thanks for watching.